Last night, Leeds United played against Plymouth Argyle and absolutely blew them out of the water after extra time, but we'll ignore that bit. In this video, I'm going to take a deep dive, find out what worked, what didn't work, and ultimately what we learned. But first, it's my birthday, so if you could if you could subscribe, channel membership, all that kind of thing, that would be much appreciated. It's like one click. That'd be lovely. Anyway, diving into the match. First up, we need to talk about what worked, and I've got a hell of a lot of stuff here. I couldn't get it all in because StreamYard limits the number of banners that you put in a thing, but I'm going to start with Mateo Joseph, who demonstrated that he can have a really, really high work rate, and I think he was super unlucky not to score. The fact that we've got another striker behind Patrick Bamford that does the exact same running as him, because we know that Peru doesn't. The fact that we have someone that is able to make those runs behind a defender, that is able to keep on pressing, that is able to force defenders into mistakes, is absolutely fantastic. And in terms of strikers, we had more than Mateo Joseph do pretty well last night, with Joe Gelhardt also showing that he still has it. A lot of people throughout the season were looking at Gelhardt saying, why isn't he on the pitch? What's going on? Is he just going to regress doing what he's doing at the minute? And I think in this match, he really sort of showed that he can be more than he's shown this season so far. Not only did he show that he is very creative and he can produce a lot of chances, but he showed that he's quite good coming off the right. It's something we've not experienced before. Primarily, he's been someone that plays on the inside. In this match, he was put effectively on the right wing, drifting inside a little bit, but mostly just staying out there. And it worked completely fine for him. He showed a lot of hunger and was unlucky to not score a goal because in the very dying embers of the main match itself, had a shot deflected, I think it would have been quite good. And time again, he and Joseph both showed that they have that passion to try and get their way back into the first team, and that's what you want from your young players. Same sort of thing that Cresswell did when he proved that he wanted to stick around by not leaving in the January transfer window. The sort of actions that say, I'm going to be part of this squad even if I have to fight my way in. Now, whilst these players weren't necessarily good enough to get us the win, someone else was, and that was Crescencio Somerville, who in this match absolutely showed off his incredibly high level of football. He came on late. He was substituted on in 70th, 80th minute. He was incredibly last minute as substitutions go. He wasn't in the first batch, wasn't in the second batch, and I was doing my watch all along. I was looking at the bench and going, our only remaining attacking option is Somerville. I'd quite like to see him come on at the moment. And then he did. And then throughout extra time, he managed to get himself a goal and an assist, and was unlucky to have not produced even more than that. Somerville was absolutely fantastic in this game and showed that even if our first team can't do it, when we're playing a more rotated side, we just need to bring on Somerville. In the aftermath, Daniel Farke said that he was dealing with some muscle issues, so he didn't want to risk him for more than 30-40 minutes. Completely understand, 30-40 minutes is more than enough for Somerville to make his impact on a football match. I wasn't able to make a note on him as like a side note, but Willy Gnonto also played excellently in this match. Got a bit of a kick in the foot, and that's presumably why he came off for Jorginho Rutter. But yeah, ultimately it worked out, and I'm very happy with the result, because we showed that we have that sort of aspiration to keep on winning behind your first team. Gnonto really showed that he's able to put in the effort like he didn't quite do in the first match of this like double-legged tie, but none of these players that I've named so far have been my man of the match. My man of the match goes to someone who a few weeks ago we didn't even notice, sort of blended into the background, quite quiet, just keeps performing to his best, and it's Ilya Gruev. Or Gruev, I'm not quite sure which it's meant to be. Now, I was confused by the commentator. I think he's been an absolute bargain. He cost us £4 to £5 million, and he absolutely dominated the midfield in this match. Covered every square yard of the pitch with 94% passing accuracy. That's insane. That exceeds a lot of goalkeepers in this league. And goalkeepers just play short stuff, apart from Rotherham's goalkeeper, who plays like 10 times as many long balls as the short stuff. Anyway, that's an issue for another time. 94% passing accuracy is insane, and that's a significant part of why we were so dominant throughout this match. And it's not just the passing that he does either. His defensive positioning and challenges are also spot on. I think it was Jer from The View who mentioned on Twitter at the end of the season, if we don't get an Ilya Gruev compilation going, look at all these slide tackles, we'll be disappointed, because he has been everywhere, all the important challenges. It's going to be really hard to drop him, which means that we probably need to drop Ampadu into centre-back even if Strauch's fit, purely because you can't drop Gruev on this kind of form. It was nice seeing Archie Gray midfield as well. It's a bit of a side note, but the Gray midfield definitely worked out in my opinion. Kamara at a certain point looked like he was flagging a little bit, but there was 20-25 minutes of that match where Archie Gray decides to push into midfield, and I think it worked perfectly well. I really enjoy him there. When it comes to substitutions, I think they were spot on as well. Something that Daniel Farke has previously been called out for, but he put effective players on that absolutely changed the game. And some people will say, yeah, it's easy to do that when you've got your first team on the bench. But then again, we changed the shape. And we changed the shape intelligently to match the lack of threat. From open play, they were doing nothing. So, after we conceded from a corner, because they didn't create any chances in open play, Daniel Farke basically went, okay, we'll get more aggressive. And it effectively turned into a 4-1-5. And it worked. Really effectively. Because Cruyff, as we saw, was playing that pivot role really, really well. So towards the end, we could just do what we want. We could throw players at them. Technically, you could say Piru was a second midfielder, but I don't want to say that counts. We got hyper-aggressive because we could. And Daniel Farke noticed that and he made the changes to match it. Whilst all of that worked, there was a couple of things that didn't work. First issue, in my opinion, was slightly poor marking from the from the free kick that led to the goal. I think it was Jaden Anthony or Junior Firpo that lost them on at the back post, and once that happens, it's an easy cut across the net. They were quite fortunate the way the ball just hit the centre forward, but you're not really going to complain too much. If you're going to lose a man that you're marking and they're going to get an assist, you sort of need to look inwards rather than outwards. In addition to that, I still have concerns about Joel Piru. At number 10, I don't think he's got the decision-making quickly enough, whereas with Ruter, you see him pick up the ball and it's snappy. He knows who he's going to dribble past. He knows the ball he's going to make. A lot of the time, he will take one touch and just ping the ball across the pitch. Piru looks like he picks up the ball and then takes a little bit of time to make a decision. And that isn't always necessarily going to work. And at 9, it doesn't pay off either, because you could tell he's taken a little bit too long to take his shots. That premium finisher that we signed in Joel Piru is still waiting to come out. And I kind of hope it does, because it would make promotion a lot easier. He felt a little bit lost at times, didn't finish his chances, didn't feel perfect. So ultimately, what did we learn from this match? Even a rotated Leeds United side is dominant. We dropped a lot of players to the bench in this one. Yes, it was still highly recognisable. Yes, there were a lot of first-teamers in there, but there were also a lot of first-teamers on the bench. Piru, Joseph, Anthony, arguably Nonto, Cooper. That's 5. Off the top of my head, don't make a first team. Byram, 6, because you probably play Archie Gray in the right back or Connor Roberts. That's a heavily rotated side. And they were still all over Plymouth for so much of the match, and being a little bit more clinical would have won it. But that's part of the issue. We need to put games away sooner. If we're able to get those 4 goals before extra time, fantastic. We were having chances, we just weren't finishing them. And I think that's the bit that matters. Shoot more. We'll be fine. We don't necessarily need to work it in. And ultimately, the final thing that we learned is we're in the 5th round, baby! Woo! That'll do. I'm very happy with that. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Like, subscribe, you can become a channel member, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to enjoy my birthday, and we'll see you later. I think the word for the comments is going to be groove. That'll do it. See you later.